Okay, so today we'll explore mostly EC2 wise, VPC, most of the things hands on. I'll cover like what is your understanding of instance? What is your understanding of an instance? Okay, so now here a virtual server or virtual computing from the AWS cloud, we are going to get that. Okay, so now here we are going to launch an instance, we are going to get. So now here we are going to give name and tags. So we are going to give the name and tag. So here, is it a host name or a general tag itself? Yeah, it's a just a name tag itself. We can give additional tags also as the meta tags we can add. So mostly in the project wise, in the real time, we are going to give the tags related to which project it belongs. Okay, so maybe project is ITCM. Okay, then for which environment you are going to create. Okay, so I'm going to create this for production. Like this, we are going to attach the tags to your EC2 instances. What is the advantage of having the tags? Now, your Gen AI also, it want to filter 100 instances out of 1000. Then you are going to give the filter like a tag. Means say suppose on ITCM projects only I want to perform the operations. On other missions I don't want to do. Then what is the advantage of the tags? Like we are going to filter or we are going to search based on the tags. And in the most of the companies, we have the compliances. If you don't have the proper tags, I'm going to delete that or terminate that instance. Okay, I'll tell one policy. What we need to develop is I need to continuously monitor all the instances, and if any of the resources are not matching our tagging guidelines, then what we need to do? We need to terminate and send a notification also to those teams. Like this automation also people are expecting. But while creating this, like we need to provide even the proper tagging also we need to provide. So we need to provide the proper. As of now, whatever the tag we have given, it's also a key pair itself. But this one is name we are getting. Okay, so I'm going to give a name like maybe Wipro server 001 like that. So Wipro server 001 like this we are going to give the name here. Okay, so then here I'm going to give the name for this. Then like we need to choose the AMI, and here we have lot of AMIs we have, and even we can browse more AMIs. We have more than thousands of AMIs are available here. Thousands of AMIs are available. Depends upon our requirement. We need to choose one AMI. We need to choose. Depends upon our requirement. As of now, I'm going to take Ubuntu. I'm going to take here. I'm going to take the Ubuntu. I'm going to take. Then, like here, we are going to choose the x86 and the hypervisor virtual machine, and it's having the solid state drivers we have. So with this hyper virtual machine, solid state drivers, we are going to get. Okay, that means in the EBS we are getting SSD volume. Okay, and this is running on the hypervisor virtual machine. And what is the hypervisor used by AWS? What is the hypervisor used by AWS? Okay, so AWS in the backend data centers, they're going to use Zen source as their hypervisor. They're going to run. Okay, now like they have using Nitro also is their own hypervisor also they have developed. Okay, that is called as Nitro. Previously they used Gen source. Okay, and we have one of the leading hypervisor in the world is VMware ESXi server. When you are working with the on-premises kind of infrastructure, we may have the VMware for us. Okay, 5 to 10% of automation some companies expect on the virtualization also. There we have VMware kind of things. But now we are going to use GenSource or Nitro we have. If you go for the Azure is going to use the Hyper-V. And if you go for Red Hat is using KVM, kernel virtual mission. So it depends upon this. Like here, it's going to backend is providing a hypervisor, virtual machine, and is it Intel based or AMD? x86 means Intel base. Okay, like x86 is Intel base. Then I'm going to take T3.micro. Why we took the T3.micro is T3 is a general purpose family. Okay, we have the different types we have. Depends upon our requirement. You can choose more than 900 types of instance types we have, and most of them are T1 family, T2 family, T3 family. Okay, then we have A1, C1, mostly computing related or M related. Like this here, we have different instance types. Coming to these instance types, okay, so what are the categories we have with those instance types? We'll discuss. If we go to the AWS EC2 instance types, so we have general purpose,
Sir, we
compute
can't see
optimized,
the screen.
memory.
Can you please
Yeah,
share
please.
it once?
Yeah. Okay, so now here we have general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized. Then we have accelerated computing, storage optimized, HPC. HPC stands for high performance computing. Now you for basic your purpose, basic needs for small infrastructures, go for general purpose. Again in the general purpose, like these all the different families we have. M8, okay. So then T2, T3, okay. All these also comes under general purpose we are getting. Okay. So it depends upon our requirement. Here, which type you want, we need to choose. I want a lot of computing is required. Lot of graphics are required. More GPU I want, or I want a supercomputer kind of thing. Then HPC. Then like depends upon your budget, depends upon your requirement to the client. We need to suggest which type of instance type we need to give. Okay, in the real time, don't tell you are using T3 micro. Okay, everyone come with 5 different type of instance types. Some of them from computing, some of them from memory optimized, and minimum 16 virtual CPUs, 32 GB RAM. Minimum you take on those workloads. Okay, so in the production level, we don't take T3.micro, those things. Only for dev and QA we may take, but for the production workloads, those are not enough. They hence come with different categories in the memory optimizer. Okay, so we are going to get again in this M9, this is the category and this is the size. With the medium, you are getting 1 CPU and 4 GB RAM, and large, you are getting 2 virtual CPUs, 8 GB RAM. Extra large, 4 CPUs, and so like this here, at least you need to tell M9G 2x large we are using. Like this, 5 instance types you remember. Otherwise, in the interview, what you will tell? T2 micro or T3 micro only will tell. Then they don't believe you have worked in the large scale computing infrastructures. Okay, and how much price this will come also you can calculate also. So that means at the starting, if you go to one Bajaj showroom, he will tell you all these details are not, and they will ask our requirements also, right? So you go for a TV, he will ask what features you want in the TV. You go for like maybe like one computer. What is the purpose? You want to use for gaming purpose, or maybe for coding purpose, or for office needs, or to watch movies, or maybe for I want to do some video editing kind of thing. Depends upon that they are going to suggest. And one more factor is what is your budget also. Okay, that means based on the client budget, say suppose client budget is very low, and if you suggest like a M9 2x large, then it's maybe around $1,500 per month itself. Then client may not pay that much amount. So based on all these factors, we need to suggest right sizing of the image, right sizing of the image, right sizing of the instance size we need to consider, and every day also we need to monitor that. Every day also we need to monitor whether we are using this or not. I took very high-end CPU, but only 5% only I always used. Then unnecessarily for 95% I'm paying additional amount. So that's we can get it from CloudWatch monitoring. Keep monitoring for 1 month. Then observe what is the usage. Is always less than 5% only. Then unnecessarily you are wasting the money. Okay, there you can reduce it. Okay, so that's like your cost also is the one of the factor, and we need to choose according to that instance type. Instance type, and all these instance types also just go through, and which category and how many CPUs, how much RAM you are getting. Everyone come with compute wise or memory wise 5 instance types you come. Okay, and if you want to deploy database, which workloads are better? I want to deploy one graphical application, more GPUs are required. Which instance type is recommended? I want to deploy one Redis kind of database or vector database. I want to deploy. Which type of instance type is recommended? For all those, same type is not enough. Different sizes we need to suggest. And in the same project, for dev maybe small infrastructure also may be enough, because we don't have millions of data. For production, you need to take large scale data. Okay, so this is all we need to plan in our job. But why we took here T2.micro itself or T3.micro? Now, in the new regions, T2 hardware is not available. At the time, they are giving T3 micro. Okay, that means say suppose now you go and ask i3. Now a lot of companies may not have i3 laptops. Very old itself we may have, or P4 laptops. Okay, but now like you want old hardware in the newer data centers, T2 is not available. Then they are giving T3. They are giving. Okay, all regions, all available zones. Okay, every instance type is maybe not available. Sometimes in one zone itself is available, in another zone it may be not available also. According to all these factors, we are going to design which type of instance type you need. Okay, so you need to spend some time today, come with the different type of instance types, explore 5 to 10 instance types, and do a role play. These all the 5 I am going to tell for my usage. And for the like my agents, this one is best one. For graphical kind of workloads, this one is best one. For databases, this type is best one. Like this, you need to choose. Okay, that still we'll discuss on the designing of our agents, which type of instance types you are going to keep for our production workloads. Then AWS is not recommending for the Linux instances passwords. We are going to get encrypted key pair, like crypto key pairs we are getting it, and it's like, as the name suggests, we have public key and private key we have. Okay, so here we can have either RSA or ED25519. Which one is the new algorithm? ED25519 is the new encryption algorithm, and always recommended to use ED25519. Previously, 2 years back, AWS not supported ED25519. Only RSA it used to support. But nowadays, ED25519 is recommended. Okay. Then it's going to give the 2 file formats, PEM, PPK. And we are going to use PEM format as of now. We'll convert that into PPK also. And here we are going to get the networking. If we don't choose any networking, we are going to get default network, default VPC we are getting, but our own customized network we need to choose, and there itself we are going to choose the which zone also. Indirectly we are selecting the zone by selecting the subnet, but if you don't choose any subnet, AWS itself will take the decision. But that also we need to keep the control in the real time. We need to choose our own VPC, our own subnets. In the same subnet also, in the same zone also, we have a public subnet, private subnet. You want to keep a database, then don't keep that in the public subnet. You want to keep app server, always keep that in another private subnet. You have a web server, keep that in public subnet. Then according to that, we need to configure security groups also. What is the meaning of security groups? Security groups are nothing but the firewall rules. Security groups are nothing but firewall rules. And
Sir,
here we are going to open SH traffic.
file.
Anywhere we are going to open here. Okay. So then we are getting the EBS volume, 8 GB of the storage we are getting. But 8 GB is not enough for our workloads. Hence you can increase this. The maximum is suggested based on the OS level. Means Linux will have some maximum storage it supports. Windows will have. Like you go for maybe your pen drive. You can format with FAT32, right? If you format with FAT32 file system, what is the maximum size it supports? What is the maximum size? 4.2 GB. Okay, NAT 32 file system, okay, doesn't support more than 4.2 GB. It doesn't support. Okay, lot of people will format using FAT32. They can't copy large files because that file system itself can't recognize. But your USB drive may be 64 GB, but it can't recognize more than 4.2 GB. That is the reason now we are going to use NTFS in the Windows servers. What is the meaning of NTFS? New technology file system. Okay, so FAT16, FAT32 has been developed by Microsoft. Okay, FAT16 is used in MS-DOS and Bill Gates developed FAT16. Okay, now later they developed FAT32, but to the modern new systems, it doesn't support. Okay, previously 2.1 GB, 4.2 GB, those itself are the hard disk sizes. But today we are getting minimum 1 TB we are getting. Okay, then we have NTFS file systems. We have new technology file system that is developed by IBM and Microsoft collaboratively developed. In the same way, in the Linux also, we have the different file systems that we will discuss. Because here we are going to get the EBS volume, right? We need to understand Linux file systems also. What are the Linux file systems we have? How to extend that file systems? Because as of now, I am going to give 15 GB only. My requirement is I want to increase this. That means going forward, we are going to develop an agent. Okay, if the size is not there on your instance, automatically it will increase the size also. But now, whatever manually we are doing, our agent also will follow the same steps, but automation it is doing. Okay, that means in my instance, I'll give one policy. If any of the instance has reached 80% of my hard disk, then increase my storage to 20%. Or I want to clean up some. Those automatically it need to done. Okay, so previously we can do that through this automation also we can do, but now we are going to use AI for that. Okay, so we are going to use the AI, and as of now we given the 15. Then the storage type we are getting is general purpose 3. What is the meaning of GP3, GP2, IO1, IO2? So now here two factors coming into the picture. The first one is IOPS. Okay, input and output per second and throughput. Those two factors coming into the picture. If you take GP3, okay, so now here if I go for the advanced options, if I go for the GP3, how many IOPS I'm getting? 3000. And what is the throughput I'm getting?
125.
125. Now I'll change IO2. I'm getting 15,000. Okay, 15,000 read and write operations are going to happen per second. Okay, and throughput is like you can give the value whatever you want, like that you can give that. Okay, IOPS and throughput are decided, but why we are not choosing here IO2? That is not free of cost. Okay, so that's the reason whenever you have the production instances, choose IO2. Okay, for dev and QA, choose GP3. Choose the GP3. Now here everyone need to do one assignment. What is that assignment is? Encryption. What is the meaning of encryption? Now try to assume in the AWS data center, we have one EC2 and that having one EBS volume. But EBS volume is not attached directly to the instance. EBS volume is very big SAN device. That means it's a very big database. So data is there. In that, we are getting that 15 GB small LUN we are getting. That means your instance is different, your storage is different. Between that, there would be one fiber channel kind of cable would be there. That means all your data is going to store in the SAN itself. That storage may be shared by 1,000 to 10,000 instances. They are maintaining the same SAN device. For everyone, they are getting the storage from there itself, and from EC2 to EBS, the data is going to transfer over fiber channels or optical cables we are going to keep. There, whenever the data is traveling over the network, we have very strong algorithms are there or guidelines are there. Okay, that data should be encrypted itself. That means never transfer the data over the network without having the encryption. There are some algorithms in the US. Every company need to follow that guidelines. That means our company also now, like between our EC2 and the EBS, is it recommended to have encryption or not? Yes. Okay. So it should have the encryption is mandatory. There we are going to keep that encryption we need to keep. If we don't keep that encryption, the security wise, it's very risky kind of thing, and our company compliance doesn't allow. Okay, that means in my company, what is the company basic rule is every instance need to encrypt. Now here we are going to choose encrypted. We are going to keep. In order to create the encryption, again we need the KMS keys. Okay, you can choose the default KMS keys we can choose, but we can create our own KMS keys also we are going to create. As of now, like always keep the encryption and keep those KMS keys also. Okay, so what is the advantage is? Now here, these are the different certifications we have in the US. FIPS, okay, Federal Information Processing Standards is one of the US Federation guideline. Whatever the database, whatever the server data is traveling over the network, as per the FIPS guidelines, is mandatory. It should be encrypted, and all our company systems also need to follow that guideline. Then, as per that standard, do you need to encrypt your data or not? Yes. Now here, configuring this is very easy as of now. But my problem is, I created an instance. Yesterday we don't know about this. We already created the instances without having the encryption. Now, like my company or my manager is very strict. My client is very strict. All we need to encrypt that. That is the assignment I'm giving for you. What is that scenario? We already created an instance without having the encryption, but now my manager is telling you need to encrypt. I don't know that. Okay, in the real time we'll get these kind of use cases, but no one will train all these in our job. To keep our job first time, we need to come with the solutions. Hence, try to come with the solution. We initially not created with the encryption, but now it's mandatory. We need to encrypt. Now with our agents, all these tasks also we can do. Okay. Now one more requirement is this 15 GB we have, right? That size we need to increase, or we need to reduce the size also. Unnecessarily I have given 512 GB. I'm not using 10% also. Then my billing is more. Then what I need to do? I need to reduce the size. Whether we can string, we can extend the volumes. We need to come with the solutions. Okay. Now here we are going to choose the encryption also we need to choose, but at the first time don't choose. And here this is not the key pair, when KMS key is getting created. Okay, what is this KMS also we'll discuss, but here also the client also can give one key pair. Now AWS itself is creating one key, but the client also can submit one. Customer is providing one key for us. Use this key only. Okay, that also how to use it we need to understand. Okay. Now we have very powerful advanced options also we have. What are those we'll discuss. Now you can join to the domain. Like in your company we have wipro.com. All your computers should be part of the domain itself. In the same way here to the domain also you can add. And you can join instance profile. This is at the IAM level I will explain. So now I'll tell one use case. You are installing one app in your mobile. Instagram you are installing. Instagram will ask permissions, right? For other apps, what are the apps it asks? Location. Maybe for contacts, camera, messages, okay, location. Like this here, this app is asking the permission to other services. In the same way, in the instance profile, I want to use one EC2 for other services. It want to access Lambda. It want to access CloudWatch. Like this, I'm giving the permission to who? To EC2 instance, I'm giving the permission. To the EC2 instance, I'm giving the permission. For that, here we need to create one IAM role. That role we will attach here. With this, for EC2, we are giving the permission. We are giving the permission for EC2. Okay. So then, today, as of now, important things I will explain. Now here, very, very important is termination protection. Always enable termination protection, because today one new employee joined, he don't know that is a production server. He deleted one production critical server. Then if you enable termination protection, what is going to happen? Okay, so that won't terminate. Even accidentally, if someone terminate that instance also, it won't terminate. That is the reason for the production servers, always enable stop protection and termination protection also, because critical servers stopping also will impact the business. Hence, better to enable stop protection and termination protection also. And what is this credit specification? I will tell. Okay, so what is that meaning of credit specification is, if you come to auto scaling, so as the name suggests, EC2 means what? E means elastic. Okay, so that elastic capabilities are auto scaling we are getting. We are getting the auto scaling, and AWS is supporting two types of auto scaling. One is horizontal auto scaling. Then second one is vertical auto scaling. So we are going to get the horizontal auto scaling and vertical auto scaling we are getting. If we go for the vertical scaling, okay, we are increasing resources we are increasing. I'll tell one example. You go with your laptop to one hardware shop. You increase your RAM from 4 GB to 16 GB. You increase your processor. You increase your hard disk. Your laptop count is one only. Okay, but if you go for the horizontal auto scaling, you are increasing more number of instances. Okay, in the vertical scaling, what we are doing?
Hello?
The vertical scaling, we are increasing our instance resources, like from the CPU, memory, and storage wise, not the instance count. Okay, but if you go for the horizontal auto scaling, we are going to increase instance count. I will tell one example. Whenever you watch a Hotstar in IPL season, their instances may be increased to 5,000 also. But today we don't have IPL, then only 40 servers may be enough for that. Means they are going to auto scale from 40 to 4,000, 5,000 servers also they are going to auto scale. Okay, so that is called as horizontal auto scaling. Okay, so suppose now based on our requirement, we need to suggest to go for vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. Can you tell me the differences between vertical scaling and horizontal scaling?
Increasing the instance.
So in the vertical scaling, they are increasing the instance resources, not the instance count. Now, how we can perform this vertical scaling, we'll discuss. How we can perform this vertical scaling, we'll discuss. So now, one method is you just change instance type. Okay, so that means you choose an T3.micro, but you choose the high-end instance type, then automatically more resources we are getting. Okay, but here one problem is shutdown is mandatory. Okay, so that means you need to shut down our instance. So that means in the business, what you need to tell to the client, a small shutdown is there. In the maintenance period only you can perform this. On the fly, we can't increase it. Definitely when you go to laptop shop also, they need to stop your laptop, they need to remove it and need to attach. But here vertically we are attaching, but instance need to be in the shutdown state only. Instance should be in the shutdown state. Now, try to understand in the vertical scaling itself, we have one more type. Some instance types are burstable. What is the meaning of burstable? Instance types are, I choose an T3.micro. So T3 is a burstable kind of hardware. If like we got two virtual CPUs and around 1 GB memory, if that is consumed, okay, here we have an option. What is that option? What is the option we have? Credit specification. If you choose the unlimited, what is going to happen is in the T3, what is the maximum size is available, you can use it. Okay, I'll tell one example. You have a credit card, 2 lakhs. What is the maximum amount you can use? 2 lakhs. If you don't use it, do you need to pay anything? No, whenever you want, you can use it. In the same way, if you choose the burstable kind of instance type, they are getting the credit and we are going to use that. I used like maybe assume 4 virtual CPUs and 8 GB RAM my applications used for 2 hours. I need to pay the amount only for 2 hours I need to pay. Okay, if I change the instance type, whether I use it or I don't use 24/7, I need to pay the money. But if I use the burstable, yeah, if you want to use burstable, what is the option you need to select is in the credit specifications, unlimited you need to specify. In the credit specification, but all instance types are not burstable supported. All instance types are not burstable. In the previous, we went to one documentation, right? Here you can get that whether that instance is burstable or not burstable. Okay, so based on that, we need to tell to the client, go for burstable kind of resource. What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? Advantage is if the more usage comes, the server is not getting crashed. The disadvantage is more billing will come. Okay, so that means if you use the credit card, definitely at the usage we are happy, but at the bill payment, okay, so we are not happy, right? The same thing here, the more billing may become. That's the reason we should be very carefully need to ask the client. Otherwise, client will throw on us without informing you. You choose an unlimited credit. Okay, so but this is one of the best feature. Okay, so now I have a doubt whether this unlimited credit we have the option, right? There we need to choose the credit specification. Whether this comes under vertical scaling or horizontal scaling.
So vertical.
Yeah, we are not increasing the resources. That size is automatically bursting to higher one. Depends upon the usage. And how much usage we have done, only for that hours only we need to pay the money. Okay, so that's, and one of the another advantage is it doesn't depend any restart also. You don't need to restart the server automatically, but some limitations are there. What is that is in that hardware type only. That means if you choose T3, in the T3 only it can burst. Okay, and when you want to change the instance types also, okay, what is going to happen is CPU compatibility will come into the picture. That means have M5 series, then M5 instance compatible types only you can change. Everything you can't change. Means at the time of, like when you are going to do the upgrade, you are changing the instance size, only compatible sizes only we can change. That's AWS will give one documentation. For this type, these are the compatible sizes. These are the compatible sizes. These are not like a incompatible. So those all we are going to get that. Okay, so that's we need to keep the consideration. As of now, we are going to do the vertical scaling. When we'll do the vertical scaling? Okay, so when we'll go for vertical scaling is your instance is not matching your prerequisites. So definitely, whenever you want to install some software, it will have some prerequisite, right? This much minimum RAM, this much storage, but it's not supporting that. Then definitely go for vertical scaling. But business wise, we are going to scale up with the horizontal auto scaling. Okay, so in the real time, mostly we are going to use horizontal auto scaling. We are going to use. So there in this AWS auto scaling groups we have. Okay, we are going to use AWS auto scaling groups. Will provide horizontal auto scaling. In the next session, we'll discuss that. Okay, and if you come to Azure, Azure will have VM scale sets. Azure we have VM scale sets. In AWS we have auto scaling. I have a doubt. Say application scalability is provided by vertical scaling or horizontal scaling? Horizontal scaling. That's the reason I said example Flipkart, if they are conducting 1 billion sale, or Hotstar in the IPL season, or we have a very new movies released in Hotstar, definitely they'll have more usage. At the time they're going to use
Horizontal scaling.
Horizontal thing. In AWS, how we can do horizontal scaling? Auto scaling groups we are going to create. very interesting thing. I will show practically how we can create auto-scaling groups also. In the physical hardware, in the virtual hardware, this is not possible. That is the reason we are calling AWS EC2. That E means elastic. That features itself we are getting here. Why we are calling that as EC2 elastic computer? What is the meaning of computing? CPU memory itself is the computing. Okay, so now elastic computing from AWS cloud we are getting based on the usage, we are going to pay the money. Now how we can do the vertical scaling? One technique here is in the advanced options. Sorry. The advanced options, you choose credit specification, unlimited. Here they have one warning, right? What is that?
Additional charges.
Additional charges apply. When it is exceeded the usage, obviously for that time only they are going to charge the money for us. Okay. Then we have one more important placement group I will explain. And purchasing options also, you can choose the spot instances. What is the spot instances? I will explain. As of now, whatever the instances, all these days we created a lot of instances, right? How that billing is there is on demand. Okay, what is this meaning is you book a Ola, then once when the price starts for the Ola, you book a cab. When the price starts for that, that cab guy came your location, then he started the time. Okay, from there the billing is going to start. And even in the EC2 also, by default we are getting on demand. If you choose the on demand, what is going to happen is we are going to get the instances per second wise or hourly billing we have. Once the instance comes to available state, your billing starts. And it would be second wise or hour wise the billing would be there. And when you terminate, that means when you stop your drive, there your price is going to end. The same thing we are going to get with the by default on demand. Okay, once your instance comes to available state, your billing is going to start. Okay, and according to that, we are going to pay the money. By default, if we don't choose any method, we are going to get on demand. Then we have one more type is there called as spot instances. If you go for the spot instances, I will explain one more use case. You went to one hotel, you are going to book the hotel, but the hotel is complete empty. Then you can negotiate with them or not. Anyhow, the hotel is empty, right? Try to give me for cheaper price. Okay, then what he will tell is, no, today is empty, but tomorrow we have one function with that everyone are booked for that. Till the time I can use for cheaper price. In the AWS data centers, they will have the huge setup. Say in Hyderabad in 2025, they set up all the servers. Almost 20,000 crores data center they set up. Then all the resources they don't use in the initial day one itself. But all the servers are unused. That unused resources, AWS will give at the cheaper price, 80 to 90 cents of per price, we can get that. But in the previous hotel use case, if you stay after 2 days, what he will tell? Those rooms are already, he will throw us out or not? Because with that condition only we joined and we got the cheaper price. Here also, if you choose the spot instances, termination is not in your control. If someone started using that actual money, AWS will throw us out. Okay, the duration is only 2 minutes. Only for 2 minutes of intimation they're giving and they're terminating those instances. But the advantage is cheaper price. Okay, lot of people are waiting for these spot instances also. Okay, now the price is depends upon the usage. If the usage is high, price is also high. If the usage is low, okay, so that's mostly I want to run some agents. Okay, so that need a lot of computing. That agents I want to cheaper price I want. Then I'm going to use the spot. So when you are going to deploy your agents also, intelligently you can reduce the cost by using mixed kind of agents. In some of them you will choose, some of them you will choose on demand. There are other types also, we'll discuss those. By think overall price we can reduce. But all the agents you don't deploy on spot only. Okay, what is the risk? But we went with all our family, like we have mother, then we don't take that kind of risk. So that kind of room we don't take because we want to, like when we want to exit, then we'll choose other types. But for some workloads, spot instances we are getting 80 to 90% cheaper cost, and the price also we can keep one cutoff rate. Say normally in the share market you can keep cutoff price. This price it comes purchase the share. In the same way you can give this price. Say my instance comes to $4.95 below. You run my workload. Okay, then I'm getting profit. Okay, like this you can specify the price also. If the price increases, then they will terminate the instance. Okay, so these kind of fleet options are available in the spot instances. The main advantage is unused resources in the AWS data centers. They're allocating as the spot instances. The price is very cheaper. Disadvantage is termination is not in your control. Forcefully, they're going to terminate the instances within the duration of 2 minutes notice only. Okay, but intelligently we can use spot instances also to reduce the cost. Then schedule the instance. What is the meaning is? So you don't want to book the cab today itself. My flight is tomorrow morning. Then for morning 4 o'clock I will schedule a cab. Okay. Normally if you book the cab, immediately it comes based on the availability. But now here if you schedule, like after 15 days, I'm going to schedule the instances. My build comes after 15 days. Why before itself we need to schedule is some instance types may be not available on that day. Okay, that is the reason before itself we are going to schedule that. Okay, then the billing starts from that scheduled date. Until the time those resources are used by AWS as spot instances also. Lot of demand has been there for spot instances also. That is the reason even if you have unused resources, AWS is getting at least some money from them. Okay, so then we have reserved instances. I'll take again the example of a hotel itself. You went to hotel, you want to stay for 1 year. Then if they take, if you say the billing daily wise, daily 10,000 into 365 days means it's a huge billing. Then they will negotiate with that. I'm going to stay for 1 year, right? Don't calculate based on. So now normally we are getting second wise or hour wise, right? If we go for the reserved instances, we need to promise to keep 1 year or 3 years. According to that, 30 to 40% of the cost we will get cheaper. Okay, we are going to reserve that for longer period. Okay, but one challenge is upfront you need to pay some amount. At least 20% of the upfront amount you need to pay. Say you got around $10,000, then around 20%, $2,000 you try to pay them. But what is advantage? It's almost 30 to 50% of the cost can be reduced by reserved instances. We need to use all these combination of purchasing plans. With that, we need to reduce the overall cost to your budget. Okay, I'm a startup. Okay, I'm very much interested with the reserved instance. But the problem for me is I don't have the $2,000 today. Okay, then I'll choose on demand itself because my application is growing. I'm getting more revenue. From that, I'll pay the amount to cloud also. And mixed, I'll choose some spot also. I'll cut down some cost also. Okay, scheduled. Then we have reserved and say suppose one say suppose Amit Shah came to Hyderabad, he will choose the complete hotel in their control itself. In the same way, we are going to keep the complete host also as a dedicated. Normally, what's happening is your instance is running as shared host, but some companies will take complete host also they will take. Whether we use it or we don't use it, we need to pay the money for that. Okay, that means the complete host also we are going to take. Some companies are taking 40 to 50 hosts in that their own instances only they are running. Okay, but as of now, what's happening? You created one instance, others also another 1,000 members created, all are using the shared host. The shared host means one physical server, multiple instances are running on that. But we can purchase our own dedicated host also, but problem is expensive. Okay, but you can take the complete hotel also if you pay the money. Okay, but we require a lot of money for that. For some companies, security they want and more like compliances they have, then they are going to take dedicated host also they are going to take. Dedicated host also they are going to take with that. Okay, so these all different we need to suggest to the client. So here you can choose the spot instances, these also, and you can do the capacity reservation, all those I will tell. And Nitro is the new virtualization hardware they're providing. We'll discuss Nitro also. Then very, very important as of now today, what I want to cover is user data. What is your understanding of user data? Normally in the Linux, Windows, you have the startup scripts. At the time of launching itself, I want to execute some automation scripts. Now, on my instance, I want to do some user automation that at the time of launching itself, that commands I want to execute. Okay, that is the reason we are going to keep the user data we are going to use. Okay, so now here you can upload a file or you can copy the bash commands, then those are executing at the time of launching itself. Okay, and here I have a doubt, if you restart the instance, again those commands are executing or not? No, as of now, only first time when we launch the instance, at the time only these commands are executing. These commands are executing. So now here, please write down one sample user data. Now here apt get update, apt install Nginx. This already be done. But when we done, after you connect to the instance through putty, we done. But now my automation use case is at the time of launch itself. This what is the user data? Anyhow, I generated through ChatGPT only. But in our agent, our GenAI will generate this user data, and automatically our agent itself need to execute also. But automation, as of now, all these I'm doing manually. But our goal is our agent need to do all this. To understand those use cases, first I'm showing you manually. Okay, then our agents itself automatically will do that kind of automation we are going to perform. But that automation is there means, yes, we have Terraform is there, but still very simplified automation is there with the GenAI. Means in the next session, I will explain through Terraform also. The same steps we can do through Terraform, but even more automation is possible with GenAI. Okay, and our agents can do that. Those we'll discuss next session. Okay, yeah, please write down this. This is a one sample. Whatever the commands we run now, if you understand here, one strange behavior is there. Can you guess all these are running as the root user or Ubuntu user? Root user itself running, because there even before creating a Ubuntu user also these commands are executing. After these commands are executing, they are adding a user, Ubuntu user for us. Okay, before itself, that's the reason we didn't give him the sudo there. Okay, otherwise we need to give the sudo there. But all these are running on the Linux before, like a user created itself, these are running. Okay. Now this hash is again the comment only. And what is this bin dash also I will explain. So we are telling to the shell to use the not the shell module, to use the bash module we are telling. Okay. And we need to troubleshoot also. If any errors, say suppose I given this user data, right? But that is not running as per the expectation. But our agent need to verify whether that is done or not. Otherwise, again it will do it. So that means our agent should be, agentic AI should be goal based, not based on the prompt base. Sorry. Instance only. Yes, sir. So suppose I'll tell one use case. I'm going to give a prompt in 100 servers. My application also should be deployed. Okay, there that AI agent is going to use user data. It is going to create the instance, and with the user data, it is setting up the application settings also on top of that. Okay, instead of doing 100 times, all the 100 instances also will use the same user data itself. Okay, so that's the reason I'm focusing more from the automation perspective. I'm focusing that basics we are discussing, but with our agents we can do. Okay, so this is from the cloud wise we are, but other coding wise, how to develop the code using the agents, how to develop our own production racks for financial, for chatbots, all the things we need to balance. Okay, but as of now we are focusing as of from the cloud perspective. Come again?
Okay.
So this in the real time, this user data also is generated by GenAI itself, but that depends upon your better prompt. Okay, and that agent till that achieved, it is going to keep on check also. So now here I am going to copy this user data. Whatever the commands you have, those all we are going to create. Now here I am going to pass those. Okay, so either in the script also you store in a SH script, shell script, and you try to upload here. Okay, then I'm going to launch the instance. Now if that is failed, how to verify also we need to know, but your agent also need to know that one. That means I given one goal, right? User data is executing, it failed. But what is the agent capability is, it should iterate, it should loop till that goal is achieved. For the first time it may fail, but it shouldn't leave that one. Okay, till that goal is achieved, what is my prompt expectation? Till that it need to perform that operations. Okay, so like if you use the Claude inbuilt itself doing all this, but the companies may not directly use the Claude in the real time. Okay, they are going to use our own agents they are expecting. The Claude very powerfully do all these things. Okay, but we need to use our own agents. We need to develop for that. Okay. Now we will go for that instance. At least try to understand that user data, whether it's success or failure. Again, we'll check that. Now I'm going to use the security group because that is installing one web server, right? In that we need to open the port number 80 should be opened. Now what is ICMP here? You want to ping that, then ICMP traffic should be open. Internet Control Message Protocol. Now I'll go to the EC2 instance. So welcome to that HTML file also we copied inside that. Okay. So now here in this user data, we created one custom index.html file. Okay. In that we have this background color, all these in the HTML we given. Okay. Welcome to Nginx on EC2. This in our index.html file we copied. That only here is going to displays here. But instead of manually doing all this, our user data itself done this role. Our user data itself is going to do, and we use the bash script there. If it is a Windows, we are going to run the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, if we are using a Windows automation, there we are going to automate it through the PowerShell also. That means your automation is using the Gen AI need to do on Windows. Then we are going to take the help of PowerShell we are going to use. Okay, the PowerShell modules we are going to install. The same thing in the Nginx, we are installing IAS. Okay, so this module, PowerShell module, is enabling IAS, and even its IAS management tools also it is going to enable. Okay, so then we are going to set up the HTML file. Okay, then restarting the IAS, and we are going to make that IAS service restart. I'll share this on the Windows mission. I keep this user data also. Then here, if you come to this instance actions, instance settings, termination protection, stop protection, later also you can enable. Okay, at the time of instance provisioning, I didn't give. Try to explore all these options also.
Okay.
Now, I want to change the instance type. Why that option is grey out? Why that option is grey out for us? Because instance is in the running state. Instance is in the one thing what I'm understanding is instance is in the running state. We can't change the instance type. Here, I change this instance type. It comes under vertical scaling or horizontal scaling.
It's a horizontal.
It's a vertical scaling. Then I'm going to stop the instance. Okay, so now here in the stopping state of GUI also you don't get. It should be in the stopped state only. That option we will get. In the stopping state, it won't come. Okay, that should be in the stopped state we can get. Now for the burstable instances, you can enable in the advanced options credit specification unlimited, or you can change the instance size. Those all comes under vertical scaling. Okay, horizontal scaling done through
Instance.
okay auto scaling groups in Azure VM scale sets. Now the state came to instance stopped state, right? Go to instance state, actions, instance settings. There here change the.
Instance type. Okay.
Now T3.micro, like which are most of the compatible here we will get those. But if you change this, the billing would be more. Okay, but don't change that. Just navigate till that point. Okay, and here I have a doubt. I'm going to stop like this state, right? Then in the stopped state, can you guess it will come or not?
It will come.
Little bill will come for the EBS volume. The EBS volume we have, right? For that billing would be there. Not for CPU and memory. Okay, so because you stopped the instance, those resources are allocated to another host. But for the EBS volume, they are going to charge the money for us. At that moment, if you don't want, you can terminate that. Okay.
The public IP will be changed, sir, if you stop the instance.
Come again?
If we stop and restart the instance, the public IP will change or not?
Yes. Public IP now it is released right for us.
Yes.
Because all over the globe, IPv4 address shortage is there. AWS also will try to allocate this IP address to C. And when you power on, again it will give the new IP for us. There is no guarantee you will get the same IP. Sometimes in the restart, you are getting. When we stop and start, okay, so we don't get the same public IP, we are not getting. What is the solution? You want the same public IP, what is the solution? Elastic
NAT,
IP.
we have to give NAT.
I'm giving one assignment for you. Your instance, you need to attach one elastic IP.
Elastic IP.
Just navigation wise itself we can do. Okay, in the job, to be said frank, no one will teach all this. They will come with the requirements. You need to provide the solutions. So hence, try to attach one elastic IP. Okay. So user data also practice more. Okay. Then one important step we are going to do. If you go to the instances and status and alarm, as of now that instance is in the stopped state. Now again a public IP has been allocated. So previously we have 16 dot series. Okay, now 3.25. 3.25, there is no guarantee we will get the same public IP because by default what is the public IP we are getting is dynamic. You want a static IP, then you need to purchase an elastic IP and need to attach. Then create one elastic IP attached to this instance is one of the assignment I have given. One more is encryption also, EBS encryption, another assignment, and try to increase the instance size also. You don't get 100% success, but try to keep the efforts. Try to change those. These all in the practical, these all the tickets or assignments we have done. Okay. And if you go to the status, here we have 1/2 system status, 2/2 instance status. What are those we'll discuss? Now, electricity is gone. What is the first step we'll do is, we'll come outside and we'll check. Why? For others also there or not. Now here system status check is like that. Okay, if you go for the system status check, in the host level, everything is fine or not, we are going to check. But everyone have the power, then we'll understand something issue with our home. No, everyone in our lift we don't have, in our common area we don't have, outside also we don't have. Then we are happy. Okay, others also, because the power is not only our issue. Now here 1/2 status check is telling at the host level. Means at the AWS host level, AWS network level, AWS storage level, we have an issue. Who need to resolve that? You will go to transformer and resolve that one. No, right? That electric guy will come. We are going to call that guy. He is going to resolve that. If it is a system status 1/2 status check, that is the problem with AWS wise. Then you need to raise a ticket to AWS also. If it is 2/2, what is the 2/2 status? Instance, maybe in your, like maybe something is tripped, or some fuse is gone, some wire short circuit happened, that is your issue. At the instance level, then if you call to that electric guy, that's not your problem, they will tell. That's not my problem, he will tell. Then you need to call, that you should be responsible for that. But first you need to compare first step. If you have any issue, you need to check 1/2 status check, 2/2 status check. And now we can have 3/3 also, some of them using, that is at the storage level. Okay, that means on the EBS level also. Okay, we are going to get the status check. Okay, so now here we need to check these alarms, and if you have any status checks, automatically we are going to get the alarms also, we will configure. After some time, this will initialize and this comes to like a active kind of state. That there is any issue, we need to troubleshoot. Okay, so some lot of times instance status goes to 2/2 status. We need to restart our instance. But lot of production servers, without having the restart also, we need to automate it. Okay, then here one more very important for us is come to monitoring. So at least write down all these metrics. Okay, say around 50 to 100 metrics we need to remember, and those names also you should able to tell continuously. We are going to monitor these metrics also. And say suppose you go for one metric in the medical report, say hemoglobin, there would be one value, right? If that value is there, then no issues. This for everything also, there should be some range. It is less than 60%, we are happy. If that is exceeded 60% of CPU memory, then we need to start the monitoring. Okay, after instance crashed, don't monitor. Before itself, as a prevention, you need to do it. Okay, hence very important. Continuous monitoring also is part of our job. Our agents are very powerful with this kind of monitoring and observability roles also. 24/7, keeping the people are very expensive. Most of the companies are keeping agents itself. Okay, something abnormal happened, it automatically try to fix that. Okay, then one more very important for us is,
number you have dialed is currently
here if you go to the connect options, all these days we used one putty kind of tool we used, and over the SSH we connect. But now we need to use session manager, we need to use SSM session manager, EC2 serial console also we need to use. So for the troubleshooting, what exactly the problems also we'll discuss. And here in SH client also, we can use the putty kind of tool, or mobile XTERM kind of tool we are going to use. Or even from the browser also we can connect, but don't use browser as of now. But here, all these techniques we can connect. But as of now, just go to EC2 Connect. Okay, then you click on the connect here. It automatically connects over the browser. But one prerequisite is your browser extension should have SH extension should be there. Most of the browsers inbuilt coming with that SH extension. That's the reason over the browser also we can connect. But other methods like through SSM, serial console, and why will connect to those use cases also we'll discuss. Okay, so then say here you delete that key pair and try to connect without having the key pair also. So that means without having the key pair also, how to connect different techniques also we'll discuss using the SSM. And we have an instance in private subnet. Okay, normally we are keeping one jump server in the public subnet, we are connecting. Without requiring that also, over the SSM session manager, we can connect. Okay, for all these, what are the prerequisites also we'll discuss. Okay, now my agent is, I'm running my agent on one instance. In my local instance, it is running, but remote is on another instance. I want to test something. I want to run some scripts. Okay, then all we are going to use the SSM only we are going to use in the automation. Okay, so how to connect to that instances over the SSM and how to do the automation manually first will do, but our agent also will do the same steps. Our agent also will do, and your instance is having some issues, then it will get lot of details by default from the CloudWatch also. Okay, so by default, we are going to get it all this from the CloudWatch also, it's going to get that. Okay, so these all Anthropic as of now with the Claude, it is doing all this. Okay, I'll show to get an idea from the Claude wise how we can do in the next session. But we need to develop our own agents is the expectation. Okay, directly they don't recommend to give the Claude this production access, all that. Our own agents need to do it. Okay.
Srikanth, once we stop the instance EC2 in EC2, can we run again?
Yes, yes. Now I already started also, right?
Okay.
Now
Just we need to click on that and launch instance. That's it.
not again
Yeah.
launch instance. Go to that instance.
Okay.
State, start or stop.
Okay. Okay. Start instance. Okay.
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 Any doubts for others? So today important one is how we can do the vertical scaling, the limitations of those. Okay. Then user data, 1/2, 2/2 status check. Say you need to tell one important one like so 1/2 status check comes. What are the steps you will do? And 2/2 it come. Means at the instance level, 2/2 status check fails. Then what are the steps you will do? At least 10 steps you need to perform. Our agent also will verify, will do the same things. Okay. The last option is in the 2/2 status check, we need to restart the instance. But at the, something is running in the background, that all we will lose it. That's the reason without restart itself, we need to resolve these kind of problems. Okay, so that's our agents should be able to do that. Okay. Yeah, any doubts till now?
So the one thing you have done is at the last you have copied the IP4 address, right? And you have copy pasted in the new tab.
That is the only application, whether it's running or not, we tested
Yeah.
that.
So if you are getting any something error, is it okay as of now? I mean, I tried the same thing.
No,
But
no, that is by default it went to HTTPS. I changed to HTTP.
Okay.
If that is any error comes means our user data script not run properly, that we need to troubleshoot.
Okay.
Now I'll go to that instance IP.
Okay. Yeah, this one.
Put is not here.
Put it.
Okay, so anyhow we connected through putty, right? I'll show how to connect from mobile extern. Now SH session, here you need to give that IP address. Username is Ubuntu, and here you need to upload the
M5. Okay.
This mobile extern, this puppet,
It's
these all we have to
SH
install
client
or
only.
what? Client only. Okay.
Yeah, just like instead of putty, enterprise level people are using extern.
In our laptops, we will get this.
And Mac it doesn't support.
Okay.
Only for Windows it is.
So then, how we have to practice any other thing?
Okay, so this one advantage here is this session is stored here. You don't need each and every time in the putty, you don't need to connect. Okay. Now in the var log, cloud-init.log, cloud-init-output.log. We given the user data, right? That results are going to store in this file, in the var log directory, in the cloud-init.log and cloud-init-output.log. Okay. Then I'm going to use the tail, like whatever the things are happened, you can get that from this. Then in the output also, like you can see all those whatever the commands is executed. All these for the troubleshooting purpose. If you have any problem, you need to verify which step it failed. All those you can type an output.log, cloud init dot log. Okay, so these all our logs. Now here we have Nginx logs would be there, syslog. These also I will explain. So mostly in the Linux wise, if you got any problem, what are the files you need to check? Okay, logging is a very important thing for the troubleshooting purpose. Okay, the first thing you need to check the 1x2 status check, 2x2 status check. Then you need to check the CPU, memory kind of CloudWatch. Then all these logs also you don't come to here. We will upload them to CloudWatch itself. Okay, so that means in the real time, you no need to go to each and every instance. Centrally itself, we are going to store the logs also. But as of now, come to that instance and check var logs. Okay, in the var log, we have cloud-init-output.log and cloud-init.log. These logs consist of user data related logs. User data related logs are going to be stored here. Okay. Then I'll come to one important point. So we have the snapshots. Now, like for this instance, I'm going to take a snapshot. Now the time is around 12:15. Now, for this instance, I'm going to take a snapshot. I'm going to take. Okay. Now, if you want to take the snapshot, go to here left side snapshots. Here we have the snapshots, right? Go to this snapshot and create a snapshot here. Create a snapshot. The snapshot can be created either from the volume or instance. Now I'm going to take the instance, and as of now only one instance as of now I have Wipro server 001. Okay, another one is I think in the stopped state. Then I'm going to give the snapshot. Okay. Now I'm going to take a snapshot here, and if you have the additional volumes, you can exclude those, but as of now only one volume I have. Okay. Then I'm going to create a snapshot here. Now what is going to happen is at 12:15, what is my VM instance state? That state is preserved in this snapshot. Then I can work till 1 p.m. or be like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., something corrected. Then what I can do is I can revert back to this state. Okay, so you want to do more trial and error kind of thing, some experiments you want to do. Better before take a snapshot. Where experiment failures also happen, you can revert back. And for the backup also, the running state always maintain the snapshots. Your application goes down, immediately you can revert back to that working state. Okay. Now when I took the snapshot, and if I go to the volume, for the snapshot also, one volume is getting created. Okay, so it takes some time, but for our snapshot also another 15 GB, because this is one instance that is in the not running state. Okay, but one more snapshot also would be created here. Okay, the state of the VM we are going to preserve by taking the snapshot. But instead of that, we're going to create this instance itself into one more AMI. I'm going to convert one more AMI. Now what I'm going to do with this instance is launch instance. Okay, then sorry, not launch instance. Go to the actions. Go to the actions. Okay, now here image and template. Create image. What we are doing is, all these days we use the Ubuntu something image, but we are creating our own AMI. Our own AMI. By creating our own AMI also, we have a lot of automation can be done. What is the difference with the snapshot is, snapshot is only a point of restore kind of backup kind of solution. But AMI, we can create multiple instances, because this is going to be the template for us. Okay, from this you can create, okay, multiple instances can be created. Okay.
So why would we need to create multiple instances?
Come again?
Why would we need to create multiple instances?
So for the auto scaling, you want to scale up your application 4,000 times also. There, if you use this AMI, you'll have that application in that. Otherwise, if you create from the Ubuntu, you are getting a clean Ubuntu only. You are getting, not with application. So now in the Flipkart or Hotstar example, when they scale up, in that Hotstar application should be running or not. Otherwise, if they got the clean Ubuntu, there is no use. Hence, they are creating an AMI with their application they are creating. That's in the auto scaling also we are going to use. Not only that is the use case, we have around 5 to 6 real use cases we have. Why we will create AMIs, we'll discuss that. Okay.
Okay, like scaling in the sense like we have.
And auto
horizontal
scaling, if you say, if you use the clean instance or clean AMI, then one more solution we have is user data is one solution. Means in the 100 instances also keep the user data, that will set up the setup. Otherwise, another solution is AMI. That means before itself you are converting one mission into AMI. From this, if you create 100 instances, all are having that application. I have one doubt. Agent, as of now, if you give the same behavior, okay, can you guess which one that is using? So that means I given the same assignment with my application. I want 100 similar instances. Okay, now I said this to Anthropic or Claude, then what it will do? Whether it is using user data or it is using AMI. As of now, it tries to use user data itself first. If not done, then it converts into AMI. Okay?
Okay, sure. Means like we have horizontal scaling and vertical scaling, and when it comes to like increasing the means to handle the network traffic, we would be using this instances.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting your voice.
Hello, am I audible, sir? No?
Yeah, now I'm audible.
Actually, I wanted to confirm like we have this concept of horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. So based upon the network traffic, if there is a heavy load on the server.
No. So here, whenever you are creating the AMI, network won't comes into the picture. This is just a template. When you are creating the instance from the template, there you can choose the network settings. As of now, just one image is getting created. But the scope of the image is only within the region only you can use. Okay, so that means we are in Sydney, right? This AMI we can use only within the, and here we are not getting any network related options, only storage it is taking 15 GB. From this we are going to convert into image. But when you are creating an instance, at the time you can choose the networking options. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Now this AMI, if you go for this AMI, here in this AMI you can see that AMIs. Ubuntu with my Nginx, this is the AMI I'm going to create, but still that is in the pending state. And visibility also is in the private only, for us only it displays. Now I'll go to EC2. Now try to understand. I'm going to launch an instance. Now here in the AMIs, you are seeing my AMIs also. Means our own AM, from our own AMIs also we can create the instances. Okay, so there that's still in the pending state. So owned by me, shared by me. Now here in the owned by me, you will get that once that available state comes for that AMI. Okay, so now here that still need to create. Previously we don't have any AMIs, that's the reason we didn't get that option. Now my AMIs we are going to see. We have a lot of use cases can be done from this also. Again, I'll go to EC2. Now here AMIs, try to understand this is our AMI, right? Copy AMI. What is my use case is, I'm in the Sydney. Now the similar kind of mission I want in US also. Then I'll copy this AMI to US East. There also from this AMI itself, I'm going to create the instances. Can you tell me the use case? I have created one instance. Similar kind of instance my company want on US also. Then what I'm doing? First I'm creating an AMI from that existing instance. Copy that AMI to
US region.
Copy that AMI to another region. There we can, yeah. So this assignment, everyone try to do this. Okay. So then second method is second use case. And launch instance directly we can do from here. AMI permissions. Now, one of my another sister company want a similar kind of instance. Then to their account also you can share. To the another account also you can share that one. Their account ID you need to ask add account ID. So now here this is his account ID, 12-digit number we have, right? 62 something we got. Like this you ask your sister company account ID. To them also we can give the access. Okay, I'll tell one use case. My company has closed, another company has acquired. Then I want to migrate all these instances to my new account. Okay, then I'll convert them into the AMIs. Then I'll move to other account who has purchased. There they will launch the instances. At that use case also we are going to use the AMI and copy the permissions to someone. And one more use case is I wrongly created one instance in wrong VPC. I created wrong subnet. I created. Then you convert into AMI. Again, new instance create with the new VPC or exact subnet where you want. One more very important workaround is you lost the key pair. Okay, then you can't access that instance. But still today we have other techniques also. But assume we want a similar kind of mission. Then you convert into AMI, create a new instance with a new key pair. With that new key pair, we can connect to that instance. Previously, one of the workaround what we used to suggest if the lost the key pair is, we are converting that into AMI. From that AMI, we are creating a new instance. We are creating that new instance will have new key pair. Again, if you use the old key pair, then we don't have that key pair with us. Okay, re-downloading the key pair, AWS is not allowing for us. Okay, all the key pairs you can see here. What are the key pairs? But here it doesn't allow option to download again. Okay, now here do one assignment here, create a key pair manually also try to create. All these left side we have lot of navigation, right? On the VPC, on the EC2, explore each and everything as of now. Okay, and in the EC2 launch instance, we have lot of advanced options, right? Okay, join to domain, instance profile, stop protection, termination protection, those also explore ones. Unlimited credit, user data, those also explore. And convert into snapshots, AMIs also. Then I'll come to one automation solution that's called as a snapshot lifecycle manager. What is this snapshot lifecycle manager is? I have 100 instances. Okay, then every day night I need to take the snapshot at 12:30. It's a 12:30 a.m. technically. On the night 12:30, I want to take the snapshot. Okay, then out of 100 missions, every day I can't like wake up till 12:30 to create that. Then sometimes some days I may be on leave. Then I'm missing those snapshots. Instead of manually doing all these, we can use a snapshot lifecycle manager. By using a snapshot lifecycle manager, what we can set up is we can automatically set up snapshots can be taken every day at night 12:30. If you take the snapshots every day, 30 days, you are getting huge snapshots. Then what is the problem? It's more expensive because for the storage we need to pay the money. Don't expect everything in the AWS. As of now, we are using the free account, right? For the company, everything is chargeable. Okay, so that is the reason what we need to do is always I will maintain 2 snapshots. That means yesterday's snapshot I will have, day before yesterday's snapshot I will have. The older snapshots I want to clean up also. That also we can do by using a snapshot lifecycle policy. Okay, so what is the meaning of snapshot lifecycle policy? automatically scheduling the snapshots, automatically clean up of the snapshots. Manually, you are not going to perform in the real time. We are going to use. Otherwise, every day night at 12:30, every day you may miss. Whenever you miss, next day itself your server will got the problem. Then definitely you are responsible for that. Okay. So, but here this never take the leave. It never skip. But humans can do that mistakes. And the automation will configure. Like this is just like a simple alarm kind of thing. Okay. So these all like in the GUI self-explore kind of thing. You are keeping alarm or not? At night or maybe like morning 4 o'clock, you want to keep the alarm, you can keep. In the same thing, you schedule when you want to understand this. These all, to be said frank, these all self-explore kind of thing. No one are going to train you all this, but try to set up, try to explore. Let's get errors, no issues. From that, we'll have the learning. Okay, what is my requirement is today. Now the time is 12:30, right? Try to keep at 2 o'clock today. Then at 2 o'clock, go and verify snapshot has been created or not. If something goes wrong, then again schedule for 4 p.m. and 3 p.m. check once. Okay, for all that, say here also, mostly we are going to do based on the tags. All my ITCM related resources, I want to create the tags. All that I want the snapshots. In that ITCM, I may have 100 resources. All will be automatically snapshots are created. And you want to do the cleanup also. Now here, in the snapshot wise, reverting to old snapshots are very, very risky. Okay, never revert back to the older snapshots. Those patch levels, OS levels, application patch levels are very old. That's opening in the network security wise very risky. Okay, it open a lot of vulnerabilities. Hence, don't store older snapshots. Always better to clean up them. Okay, those patch levels are very dangerous, very low level they have. That's very risky to again create a instances. Okay, so that's the reason if you may observe WhatsApp maybe like stopped older version of Android, older version of iOS, because those are risky to use. Your WhatsApp security will be less if you use those old. That's the reason they stop the support itself in those versions. But here also, if you revert back to the older snapshots, risky will be there. That's the reason always maintain 2 or 3 snapshots itself. Storage wise also expensive. Second one is, okay, so now here we are going to like a security wise also not a best practice. Okay. Any doubts till now? All these, if you understand, like how to start this troubleshooting, all that from the agents we can go. Okay, so then we need to provision all this through Terraform. Also, how to provision will go. Then with the agentic, we are going to move using the Gen AI. Okay, the tracks we need to build. Any doubts? Okay, so now one more very, very important thing additional to Terraform, what you need to have the basics is Docker. Okay, so what is the meaning of Docker is? Docker is a containerization kind of solution. All these days what we done is we took the hypervisor. On top of the hypervisor, our instances or virtual machines are running. Whenever we want to deploy Nginx, we took the one instance, on that we can run. But if I go for the Docker, on top of my Linux VM, I'm going to install the Docker, then I can create multiple environments we are going to create. That containerization like is that. But if you take here VM versus containers, this is the important thing. VMs are very, very like a heavy kind of thing. It takes minimum 3 to 5 minutes to start. But containers are within milliseconds, they are going to start. Okay, I'll tell you an example in the real time. Say, suppose I have my application, Hotstar itself is there. They have a backend 4,000 servers. Now, like 2,000 servers are done, then they started 10 more servers. How much time it will take? Minimum 3 to 5 minutes. Then, like here say, suppose one like whenever we are going to get more number of views, like maybe any of the like interesting match is happening, or like maybe Dhoni came to batting, Kohli came to batting, then the spike will increase. Or Kohli is playing at 90s, then all of a sudden it scale. But how much time it is taking to scale up this? 3 to 5 minutes. Till the time like users are increasing, but we don't have the servers. But if you go for the containers, in milliseconds itself, those are going to scale up. Okay, that means if you use the Hotstar, Netflix, these kind of apps, they don't have the VMs in the backend. They have the containers for scale up. And even our agents also not directly deploying on the VMs. They are going to deploy on the containers. So for that, we have Docker. Okay, then on top of Docker, we have orchestration is there. What is the meaning of orchestration? Yeah, orchestration automatically we can create stop, start, terminate, auto scale, load balance, self-heal. All these are going to provide. Now AWS on the VM level, on EC2 is providing this orchestration itself. Okay, but at the container level, I want to create hundreds or thousands of containers. I want to scale up. I want to scale down. I want to start, to stop, self-heal, auto scale. All that are going to done with the Kubernetes kind of thing. Means if you go for the like a Hotstar, Netflix, everything are running on the Kubernetes only. Okay, so that is the reason we have the container orchestration kind of tools we are going to use. Now here we have this mission, right? Now here on this, I'm going to install one Docker. Okay, now we have a Linux mission. On top of that, I'm going to install Docker is our containerization. Then multiple containers we can. I'll tell one example. You go for Tomcat 8, Tomcat 9, Tomcat 10. All the three not possible to install on the same mission. I'll tell one example. You go for Internet Explorer 7, 8, 9. So if you install 8, 7 would be lost. If you install 9, all the three we can't maintain. But here all are running in isolated environments. Means we can have Tomcat 8 here, Tomcat 9. That means multiple versions of the applications. You want to set up this, we need to go for 3 instances. But now with the container, what's happening? On the same server we can run because everything is running in an isolated environment. Okay, for that on our Linux mission, I'm going to install Docker. Okay, now What is the package is on apt or Ubuntu docker.io. Docker.io I am going to install. So now here my Docker has been running, and as of now I am giving the sudo. Without giving the sudo also we can run. That I will explain. Okay. Now I need to restart that Docker also. So restart or maybe start the service also Docker, but with the Debian or Ubuntu, automatically service will start automatically. In Amazon Linux or Red Hat, we may need to start the service, but with the Debian, service will start automatically. Okay, then so as of now, non-root user doesn't have the permission. We need to give the sudo and Docker info. The Docker info will show lot of details, how many containers are running, images. So now here two things. In the AWS EC2, we have an AMI. AMI is a template. The running state of AMI, we have the instance. Now in the Docker, we have one Docker image. Then the running state is called as Docker container. Okay, image is just like a file. Normally we have Windows. What we will have? We'll have ISO file, right? Okay, when you boot it, then that's going to become a server for you. In the same way, in AWS we have in AMI. When we give the CPU memory, then that is going to become instance. In the same way, here we have a Docker image that's having all the template and instructions how the container can build. Okay. Now here try to understand image versus now coming to the Docker architecture. The Docker CLI, whatever the commands you are typing is the Docker CLI. Then in the backend already Docker engine is there. Then we have Docker registry. We have Docker registry is nothing but Docker Hub. So now we took Ubuntu or Amazon AMI, right? That is from the Amazon registry downloaded for us. Because so now here all the images we are going to keep in Docker Hub. Okay. Now try to understand. Docker run. Always need to give the sudo. But without running the sudo also I will explain. Now what it is doing, try to understand. It unable to find the image hello world and the latest. From where it downloads means Ubuntu it's not found, but we have given the same Ubuntu. Now it pull the image from Docker Hub. Okay, then like the Docker client contacted the Docker daemon. Docker daemon pull the hello world image from the Docker Hub. Then Docker daemon created a new container and it displays this message and it will exit. Hello world is a container only for lab purpose or practice purpose we are using, whether your Docker environment is correct or not. If shows this message, your Docker environment is correct. Now I'm going to install one Nginx on top of this. Okay, now try to understand. Docker run my Nginx -p 8080 I'm giving. And inside that 80 and -d I'm giving all these options I will explain. Image is Nginx. From Nginx image, it is installing one container. Any idea what is the container name? My Nginx is the container name. Image name is Nginx. If we don't specify any tag, we specify the tag, right? Ubuntu 24.04, 26.04. But here, if you don't specify, always it will download the latest one. Now it is unable to find the image Nginx colon latest. Then like it is pulling from Docker Hub. It is pulling from the Docker Hub. One container got created. Okay. Now I will try to access that container also, but in my instance, I need to open that port number. Now here try to understand. I given -p. $80 I have given. What is that meaning is 80 is my host port. Inside that, what is the 80 I have given is container port. Now that whatever we have given 80 is going to convert into mapped one. 80 I'm accessing, but internally that is converting into 80 port. Okay, how that bridge works we'll discuss. Okay. Then in my instance, I have a doubt. I need to open the port number 8080 or 80. 8080 I need to open. Already 80 we are using our Nginx already running on the host. I will go to security group. Edit inbound rules. Custom. Now here you need to give 8080 and that HTTPS also you need to remove. Okay, so if you understand, already in the 80 on our local machine, one Nginx is running, but this is running on the container. Okay, this is an isolated environment. For the one of the major deployment breakthrough in the DevOps is containers and container orchestration. Okay, if you got the image for your agent also, a layman also can run that. What is that? Just Docker run that image name. Okay, that means we need to build the images for our agents also. Then anywhere we can ship it, we can deploy it. Okay, so that is the purpose. Docker and Kubernetes is getting more popular day by day for our deployments. Okay, so then try to, I'm going to deploy Tomcat also on this mission. Now what I'm trying to do is Docker run my Tomcat I'm giving, then -p 8081. What is this host port? I will explain. And the -d is for detach mode. Tomcat 8 I'm giving. I'm giving Tomcat 8. From which port I can access that? 8081. But internally that is redirecting to 8080. Now it is pulling again Tomcat 8, it is pulling. From where? From Docker registry. Now meanwhile in the security group, now try to understand one small technique. What I am trying to do is 8080 is there, right? posted 11 ports I've opened here, but it's in the real time not recommended. Unnecessarily don't open unnecessary ports. But for time being, I don't want to configure multiple rules. The single rule itself, I've opened the port number from 8080 to only for time being we should give like that. Okay, unnecessary ports we shouldn't open. Now that Tomcat 8081 it is there, then here if I go for 8081, normally this HTTPS, normally web app file it need to come, but to reduce the size they remove that. But here if you see Tomcat, what is the version we are getting? 8.5.100. Now on the same mission, I will run Tomcat 9. Okay, so then
Tomcat.
8082 I'm giving, or maybe previously for Nginx we given 8082 or okay 8082 is available. Inside port is 8080. Both the containers are running again sharing 8080 itself. Okay, then I'm going to give here Tomcat 9 I'm giving. But if I don't give the detach mode, all these are running in the foreground itself. But if you use the detach mode, this is not running in the background, it is running. Okay, next command, next container, I don't use -d. There you will see how it runs in the foreground. Sudo. Then previously we have the image that is Tomcat 8, but now this image is different. Tomcat 9 is downloaded. Now if you want to access this one, we need to give the port number is
8082.
now here if you see 9.0.120, but 8 is running on 8081 port. This is running on. Now the same command, I don't use any of the Tomcat image. Then what is going to pull? Latest is getting pulled. If you don't give the tag, it is going to pull the Tomcat latest image. But port number will get the conflict. And Tomcat, this name also will get the conflict. I just given late or LAT I have given. Now Tomcat latest it is getting downloaded. And we given the port number 80. If I give to assign Tomcat 8, Tomcat 9, Tomcat latest, minimum you will take 2 to 3 hours. And 3 instances you need. Okay, so because on Tomcat 8 instead of Tomcat 9 you can't access. Tomcat latest you can't access. But here all these are running in the isolated environments and for the lab purpose, for practice purpose, for our agent deployments, and Kubernetes are very, very crucial. But what we required is, here we are using the Tomcat latest, Nginx. For our agents also we are going to give the images. Then anyone can execute them very easily. They can. Okay. Now here we got 11.0.24. Normally Tomcat page need to come, but that web app they have removed that one to reduce the size of the image. Okay, to reduce the size of that, they removed that all the files. Okay. This like try to understand Docker images. Whatever the images are pulled, it is going to show for us. So we use run hello world. Okay, then try to understand Docker PS. In the instances, it shows all the running instances, right? But all these are running containers. In the same host, all are running. Okay, you want to set up on the VMs, we need huge infrastructure is required. And multiple versions, we require multiple VMs. But the containers, you want to develop 3 or 4 agents with the different versions. There also for the dev environments also, Docker is very, very useful for us. Okay, and for our agents also, how we are going to deploy on the Python Rise, that's we need to understand. Now here one thing is, we need to create our own images. Running can be done by a layman also, because just one command, Docker run, that's it. But how to create those images, we need to understand. Okay, in order to create our own customized images, Docker is providing one solution called as Docker files. So using the Docker file, we can create our own images. Okay, so how to create those images? Yesterday also I shared one video. Today also I'll share one video. Both of that try to finish. For user data, all those also I shared relevant videos. Those also assume part of the course itself. Okay, here I'll show all them, practical I'll show. Okay, if those also try to finish, then like if you go through the Terraform, then we'll go for the real racks we can go. That we can deploy also. Okay, so a lot of people without knowing all this, they can develop the racks, but they don't know how to deploy that at the production level. Okay, for that also Docker and Kubernetes, all our applications also running on Docker and Kubernetes. So go through this video also I'll share 2 to 3 times, go through this. Okay, and all that assignments also try to finish. Okay.